Title VII and ADA stuff. All the
Gary
All right, we're ready. City clerk, you can call the roll.
Alderman Rainey.
Here.
Mayor Tisdale.
Here.
Mario Chris.
Present.
Sorry about that. Rodney Green, present.
All right, we have a quorum. Do we need to reconvene?
We're convening.
We're reconvening, all right. As far as I'm concerned, we're ready for the board to discuss the issues before us. I think everybody has had ample opportunity to make your case. So I'll go first. My feeling is that none of these issues rise to a level serious enough to deny ballot access to the candidates and to the many voters who signed petitions for those candidates. The voters expect and deserve a choice from there. It is true, as Mr. Smith notes, that I ran unopposed when I ran for re-election. There's a vast difference between running for re-election with no one choosing to run against you and running unopposed because you've objected to all the other candidates being on the ballot. Ballot access is important and should not, in this case, be denied. I believe the Electoral Board should ask the Law Department to work with the city and to work with the city clerk and to answer all questions about the need for a primary, the referendum, etc. No candidate should need to be a lawyer or hire a lawyer in order to run for public office in the city of Evanston. Further, I would like to ask the Law Department to explain what you've been criticized for, which is not responding to candidates' questions. And it is my understanding, since 4 years ago you didn't answer my questions, that you're not allowed to do that. And I would like the Law Department to explain your position on that. So that's my position. Alderman Rainey?
Well, there are certain terms for what we've been through lately that probably can't be spoken in public, but I've just, I've been involved in city politics in the city of Evanston longer than anybody in this room probably. And I've always found it to be a very honorable activity. And lately, I've found it to be unpleasant, unkind, and really, even Chicago hasn't risen to this in my experience. And I don't understand how it got so confusing to people. And I apologize to everybody who's gotten involved in this, and it just should never have happened. And I'm not really satisfied with our position. I think everybody ought to be on the ballot. I think there ought to be rules. I think they ought to be followed. I am still conflicted by my decision on the Devon Reed situation. That rule was not followed. I don't know what the rules are in this case. I don't know. I thought Mr. Nally's position, his statement the other day made a lot of sense. We made a decision earlier on this case. We told the mayoral candidates that we had decided that they had followed the rules and that Alderman Miller's objections were overruled and everybody was on the ballot. Along comes Jeff Smith, and I'm concerned that we accepted his objections. But we did, and so we're here now. If I should win re-election and if I should ever serve on an electoral board again in the city of Evanston, I will perform much differently. But in this case, I'm going to support your position and allow for all the candidates to be on the ballot. I think we're faced with a very confusing situation with Mr. Smith. What election is he going to be in? My position is that he's going to have to be in the primary, although I can see an argument against that, but I think he's going to have to be in the primary, and I think you're going to have to put the bottom of the ballot.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said, I'm sorry, I'm muddling. I think he's going to have to be at the bottom of the ballot.
Thank you.
But that's not our job to decide. But in chattering, that's where I think he's going to have to be. If he wants to be in this election, if he wants to be a mayoral candidate at all, I think he's going to have to run in the primary and be on the ballot.
Thank you. Clerk Green?
Okay, my first 2 years I ran unopposed. This year it's a different story. I do believe that we should make any candidate, make it easier for that person to get on the ballot, to run for the office, to let the citizens of Evanston decide who they want for their position. I do agree with Alderman Rainey that also this has been, in my opinion, one of the worst campaign seasons that I've ever seen since I've been here. And being a part of this electoral board, I have mixed feelings as well as about the outcome of some of the things that's going on. I do believe that since there were 5 candidates for both the mayoral candidates, that they should go through the primary because it is required by the Illinois State Board of Elections. I'm not sure how well or if we should abide by the 1992 referendum, but I do believe that everybody should have an opportunity to get on the ballot and let the citizens make the decision who they want for their mayor. So I would go along with the other 2 electoral board members. It's difficult to make that decision. It's difficult for us to sit through this and allow a candidate who's running to get a lawyer to defend them, to defend themselves, the background they need to do to get on the ballot. I think it's unfair to them as well. And I do believe that the decision we make today will be something that we'll have to correct in the future to make sure this doesn't happen again. That's all I need to say.
All right, Council, we need to recess this hearing and you can write our decision and come back.
If you can have a final vote on the decision.
You need us to vote now.
Yeah, to prepare the order. So I can just memorialize in writing everything that has been said. I'll need 15 minutes to do that.
All right.
And then we can.
So we'll recess for 15 minutes and then reconvene.
Okay.
Jada, will you read your opinion?
Madam Mayor, members of the Municipal Officers Electoral Board, I'm passing around a Electoral Board findings in order. I am asking that you review it and ensure that it accurately reflects the decision of the board. As an overview, the Electoral Board findings in order first begins with the procedural history, how we convened on January 9th, 2017, and now recessed to January 11th, 2017, which is today. The findings are reflective of what has happened in the past 2 days of hearings. It reflects the collection of exhibits, introduction of exhibits, taking how the MOEB took notice of the relevant provisions of the Electoral Board in making this decision, and judging the credibility of all who presented the cases of the respective parties. The MOEB weighed the evidence, considered applicable law, and drew appropriate inferences from all presentations. This is the final order that's dated today, January 11th, 2017. The applicable law is then presented with a review of objector Jeff Smith's arguments in support of objection of all 4 candidates. Then there's a review of relevant case law that we turn to, specifically coming from the City of Chicago Electoral Board. The order also states that the 4 mayoral candidates that Smith objects to each filed petitions containing the signatures of hundreds of individuals. None of those signatures were challenged. It is undisputed that those 4 candidates demonstrated at least a minimal appeal to voters. We also take note of various other cases. And Madam Mayor, you asked that I respond to an inquiry related to the city's law department's responsibility in terms of responding to a request that we had received. I'll just read this verbatim for the record. The Corporation Council properly did not issue an advisory statement prior to candidate filing regarding the issues implicated in these objections. Any such advice would violate his ethical obligations to the city, to certain currently serving aldermen filing nomination papers for mayor, and to other mayoral candidates. Any such advice would be an impermissible conflict of interest. Furthermore, the Corporation Council declined to infringe upon the statutory jurisdiction or duties of the city's statutorily designated local election official, the city clerk, under the Illinois election law. Lastly, the city's law department has no role, authority, or responsibility to give legal advice to municipal election candidates.
Thank you.
Then following that statement, we proceed into the final order. For the reasons set forth in the record and also cited in this order, the MOEB hereby orders that the board overrules all objections filed by Jeff Smith in case number 17 MOEB EV04, EV05, EV06, and EV07.
Thank
That is the
you.
final order.
I think I'd like to finish reading this. All right, Clerk Green, are you ready
Yes,
to vote on this?
yes. We'll make one other statement going to this, because I think it was also mentioned that the clerk also received letters from the attorneys. The clerk's office did not receive that, so I did not respond to, the clerk's office did not respond to the questions that were put to the legal department here in Evanston. So now I'm ready to vote.
Thank you. All right, we're voting to accept. This is the official finding.
Finding an order of the board.
I move that we accept this as the official finding and order of the board. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
At this point, I'll have everyone sign copies for the objector, the candidates, and for the board, and I'll introduce them as well into the record.
Okay.
So you can see the final page.
You want to all sign?
All of them, I'll distribute them. Send them around.
Give it to Ron. Oops, I can see it comes to Ron. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's good there.
I messed it up.
That's a final. Oh, sorry. We are complete. Let the record reflect that I provided each of the objector and each of the candidates for candidates council the electoral board findings in order.
Can I ask a point of clarification? The objection obviously asks for all of the candidates to be kept off the ballot. It also asks.
Excuse me, point of personal privilege. I filed to prevent an unlawful primary. I filed against 4 candidates, not because I was trying to clear the field, but because if I played favorites, I would be accused of trying to shape the field to my benefit, and because there were different and distinct objections to each. This electoral board easily could have come up with a finding that found 1 candidate was off the ballot, or 2, or 3, or none. So this continued idea and trying to frame it as either there's no choice or everybody's on is really a false dichotomy. And but you may go on. That's all I want to say.
Okay, I understand that.
You know as well as I that I fought for voter rights and to get people on the ballot and to register people to vote as much as anybody in this room.
My only comment, Mr. Smith, was that one of the requests in your prayer for relief was that the candidates not be placed on the ballot. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, that was my only point. One of your other requests for relief.
But not as a
Right, and one of your other requests for relief
If you two want
was.
to argue this out, we don't need.
I just
to
have I have a
part of it.
question, which is the other 2 things for relief that he wanted were to be placed at the top of the ballot and to not be in the primary. And my question is, by denying his objection, you've denied all of those requests, and there will be a primary with all 5 candidates in the order that the clerk has set. Is that
As
correct?
far as I'm concerned, there will be a primary with all 5 candidates. And I'm not sure that the electoral board is the place where decisions as to ballot placement are made.
Ballot placement is outside of the jurisdiction of the board.
But ballot placement has already been decided.
What's been decided is the clerk sent into the David Orr's office those candidates who applied for the position. And what was given is the ones who turned them in, it went down in order. They would then decide how the orders be set. But I just gave the names of the candidates at that time. So they would then make the decision who would be first, second, third, or fourth. I would then let them know today that the electoral board has made the decision. They would then go from that point to make up the ballot for February 28th. I mean, January 28th. Not February 28th.
It's not in fact.
So that's on their agenda right now.
As additional clarification, the requests centered, and part of the reason that my presentation took time the other day on the request for a declaration that Evanston has no ordinance requiring nonpartisan election. Mr. Miller, in his response, raised the issue that we have a 1992 referendum that's binding. Am I missing something, or is there not a finding as to whether Evanston does or does not have a nonpartisan system of running elections, and to whether the 92 referendum system is or is not in place, or is the finding of the board that we don't know what the law is and it doesn't matter, we're just going to let everybody run because we want to let everybody run?
The decision of the board is in written form in front of you.
And pretty quickly,
This hearing
miss
is,
things.
I move this hearing be adjourned. Alderman Rainey.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you, members.
Thank you.